Have you ever walked into a room in your home, looked around, and just felt completely overwhelmed? Maybe it's the clutter on the kitchen counter, or the closet that won't quite close. Or maybe it's the boxes in the corner of the room that you meant to get to, but never did. If that sounds familiar, let me say this clearly. You are not messy, you are not lazy, and you are absolutely not alone. Life doesn't get cluttered overnight. It happens slowly, piece by piece. A holiday gift you didn't ask for, a drawer full of greeting cards you meant to organize, a cabinet with dishes you haven't used in years, but somehow still keep. It all adds up, until one day, your space no longer feels like yours. And when that happens, it's easy to feel stuck, even a little helpless. But here's the good news. You can take it back, one step at a time, one small change at a time, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to start. Today, I'm going to walk with you through 19 gentle, realistic, and comforting ways to begin clearing the clutter and making space for peace. These are not tricks. They are thoughtful habits that thousands of women, just like you, have used to bring light, calm, and comfort back into their homes. You deserve a home that feels like a safe haven, one that reflects who you are today, not just who you used to be. So take a breath, make a cup of tea if you like, and let's begin this together. 1. The 1 in, 1 out rule. Let's start with something simple but powerful. It's called the 1 in, 1 out rule. Here's how it works. Every time you bring something new into your home, whether it's a blouse, a book, a kitchen gadget, or even a piece of decor, you commit to letting go of one existing item. Just one. It doesn't have to be something big or sentimental. It could be a mug you no longer use, a pair of shoes that hurt your feet, or a scarf you haven't worn in years. The goal isn't to get rid of everything, it's to maintain balance. Think of it as a quiet agreement with yourself. If something new comes in, something old makes space. This helps you avoid the slow buildup of clutter that sneaks in over time. I remember Martha, a retired librarian, telling me, "This rule changed the way I shop. I now think twice before buying anything, because I know I have to say goodbye to something else. And honestly, it feels freeing." It keeps your home from overflowing and helps you stay surrounded only by things that truly serve you, today, in this season of your life. 2. Repurpose with love. Sometimes the hardest part about letting go of things is the feeling that we're being wasteful. That old teacup? It reminds you of your sister. That chipped bowl? It belonged to your mother. So instead of throwing it away, ask yourself, can I give this item a new life? Maybe that old teacup becomes a planter for fresh herbs on the windowsill, or a vintage scarf becomes a table runner. Repurposing turns letting go into something joyful and creative. It's not about tossing memories. It's about honoring them in a new way. Diane, who lost her mother a few years ago, once told me she took a cracked china plate and turned it into a mosaic frame for a photo of the two of them. It didn't go to waste, she said. It became something even more beautiful. When we shift our mindset from waste to purpose, we start to see our things and our space with softer eyes. Let your creativity guide you. You'll feel better knowing that what you keep is meaningful and what you repurpose becomes part of your story. 3. Declutter by the seasons. One of the most gentle and natural ways to approach decluttering is by using the seasons as your guide. Just like we change our wardrobes from winter to summer, we can shift our focus around the house throughout the year. You don't have to tackle your whole home at once. Instead, ask yourself, what makes sense for this season? In spring, maybe it's the garden shed. In the fall, the hallway closet with scarves and coats. As the holidays approach, perhaps you go through gift wrap or seasonal decorations. Doing a little at a time and letting nature's rhythm guide you, makes everything feel more manageable. Plus, seasonal cleaning becomes something you can look forward to. Frankly, it can even feel like a tradition. One woman told me, "Every spring, I clear out my pantry and donate what I haven't used to the local shelter. It feels good to share, and my pantry always looks amazing afterward." You don't need to do it all right now. Just look out the window, notice the season you're in, and take that as your cue to begin. Simply, gently, and without pressure. 4. Create a donation station. Sometimes the biggest challenge in decluttering isn't knowing what to let go of. It's knowing where to put it once you do. That's where a donation station comes in. Think of it as a quiet little spot in your home, maybe in the hallway, the laundry room, or even by the front door, where you place things you're ready to pass along. It could be a cardboard box, a fabric bin, or just a tote bag. Whatever you choose, make it easy to drop things in whenever the moment strikes. Finished a book? In the bin. Found a sweater you no longer wear? In it goes. Once the container is full, simply take it to a local charity, thrift store, or church donation center. A retired school principal named Linda shared, "I put mine in the laundry room. Every time I pass it, I ask myself, is there something I can give today?" It's a gentle reminder that decluttering doesn't have to be an event. It can be a quiet, ongoing act of generosity. And best of all, you're not just letting go. You're giving someone else a chance to use what no longer serves you. 5. Group like with like. Let's talk about something simple but surprisingly powerful. Grouping similar items together. It may sound small, but when you start putting like things with like, for example, all the batteries in one drawer, all your greeting cards in one box, or all your sewing supplies in one basket, you begin to see your space differently. You notice duplicates. You see what you really use and what you don't. One woman, Barbara, told me she had batteries in 5 different drawers around her house. When she finally gathered them all in one labeled container, she realized she didn't need to buy another pack for the next 2 years. She laughed and said, "I was storing clutter and spending money for no reason." Grouping helps eliminate waste, saves time searching for things, and brings a feeling of calm to your home. You don't need fancy bins or expensive organizers. Use what you have: a shoebox, a jar, a dish. The key is to know what you own and where it belongs. That alone can bring a quiet kind of peace to your daily routine. 6. Create a clutter-free sanctuary. Let's talk about peace. Not for the whole house just yet, but for one small space that's just for you. Choose one spot in your home that you'll commit to keeping completely free of clutter. It doesn't have to be big. It might be your nightstand, your favorite chair, or even just a corner of the kitchen counter. What matters is that when you look at it, you feel calm. One woman, Elaine, shared that she cleared off her kitchen island and decided that would be her sanctuary space. No papers, no bags, no half-finished projects. She said, "It's the first thing I see when I come in from the grocery store. It reminds me to breathe." The beauty of this tip is that it builds trust in yourself. You'll realize, if I can keep one area peaceful, maybe I can do 2, maybe even 3. You don't have to rush to clear the whole house. Just start with a place that feels like your own, somewhere your eyes can rest and your heart can exhale. 7. The 5-item rule. Some days, even the idea of cleaning out a room feels like too much. And that's okay. That's where the 5-item rule comes in. It's as simple as it sounds. Every day, you pick just 5 things to deal with. That could mean 5 things to donate, 5 things to throw away, or 5 things to put back where they belong. That's it. Just 5. You can do it during your morning coffee or while waiting for dinner to cook. Over time, 5 things a day adds up. After 1 week, that's 35 things. After a month, it's over 100. One woman I spoke with said she started doing this after breakfast every day. just like brushing her teeth. She said, "I didn't even notice the difference until I opened my closet one morning and realized I could actually see the floor." There's no pressure to finish fast. The point is to stay gentle and consistent. This habit builds momentum and, more importantly, confidence. 8. The 10-minute rule. Here's a comforting truth. Most of us don't need more time. We just need to begin. That's what makes the 10-minute rule so helpful. Set a timer on your phone, your microwave, or an old kitchen clock, and give just 10 minutes to one small task. Maybe it's one drawer, one shelf, one corner of the closet. You'd be surprised what happens in 10 minutes when your focus is kind and clear. Marie, who was cleaning out her late mother's house, told me she began with one kitchen drawer. That was it. But after 10 minutes, she felt so good, she kept going. Before long, the entire counter was clean. "It stopped feeling impossible," she said. "It just became 10 minutes." Some days, 10 minutes is all you'll do, and that's enough. Some days, it'll turn into 30. Either way, the 10-minute rule removes the pressure and replaces it with action. All you have to do is begin. 9. The 4-box method. Sometimes the hardest part of decluttering isn't physical, it's emotional. What do I do with this? Should I keep it? Should I give it away? That's where the 4-box method helps bring clarity. You'll need 4 boxes or bags. Label them: keep, donate, trash, and unsure. As you go through items, place each one into one of these boxes. The unsure box is especially important for sentimental things. You don't have to decide right away. Just put it aside and come back to it in a few weeks. One woman shared how her father, after much hesitation, was finally ready to part with his old tools, but only after they sat in the unsure box for a month. By then, the emotional attachment had softened. This method gives you permission to delay without losing progress. It also keeps decisions simple and clear. Sorting becomes less overwhelming when your only job is to choose a box. You're not forcing yourself to let go. You're simply organizing your choices. 10. The one-touch rule. The one-touch rule is a tiny change with a big result. Here's how it works. When you pick something up, deal with it right then and there. Just once. That means instead of moving the mail to another pile, you sort it. Bills go to their folder. Junk mail goes in the recycling. Letters from loved ones go on your reading table. No more setting things down to deal with later. A retired teacher named June shared, "I used to pick up the same magazine 5 times a week, moving it from chair to table to floor. Now I read it or I recycle it. One touch, done." This simple rule prevents clutter from building up in the first place. It saves time, clears space, and creates a rhythm of small, mindful decisions. You'll find it brings a quiet satisfaction. Things feel more in control, and little by little, your home begins to stay tidy, without the stress of constant catch-up. 11. Enlist a trusted partner. Decluttering doesn't have to be something you do alone. In fact, it can be more meaningful and a lot more enjoyable when you do it with someone you trust. That person might be a close friend, a daughter, a neighbor, or even a professional organizer who understands how to work with seniors. What matters most is that they're kind, patient, and respectful of your memories. Nana Jo, a sweet woman I once met, had her granddaughter come over every Saturday morning. They sorted through her craft room together, laughing over half-finished projects, reminiscing over old fabric scraps. What could have felt overwhelming became something they both looked forward to. "It turned into our special time," she told me. "We shared stories and made space together." If you don't have someone nearby, check with your local senior center or church. Many communities have volunteers who would be honored to help. Remember, asking for help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. 12. Visualize your ideal space. Before you sort a single thing, take a moment to pause. Close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. and ask yourself, how do I want this space to feel? Maybe your ideal bedroom is calm, simple, and cozy. Or maybe your kitchen feels best when the counters are clear and the light flows freely. Hold that image in your mind. Better yet, find a photo online or in a magazine that reflects your vision and tape it somewhere visible, like the fridge or the closet door. One woman told me she printed out a picture of a peaceful, open living room and put it on her nightstand. Every time she felt unsure about an item, she looked at that photo and asked, "Does this belong in the space I'm creating?" It helped her let go of things she didn't truly need. Visualizing gives your decluttering a purpose beyond just tidying up. You're not just cleaning, you're designing a space that fits who you are today. And that vision can guide you every step of the way. 13. Make it enjoyable with music or podcasts. Decluttering doesn't need to be a chore. In fact, it can become a time you actually look forward to, if you pair it with something that lifts your spirit. Put on your favorite music, maybe some old jazz, country classics, or soft piano melodies. Or, if you prefer voices, listen to a podcast that inspires you or a radio show that makes you smile. Edith, a retired nurse, told me she loved listening to old radio dramas while going through her attic. "I'd laugh and cry with the stories," she said, "and before I knew it, I'd emptied a whole box." The idea is to create a comforting atmosphere, so your focus isn't just on the task, it's on the moment. Let yourself enjoy the process. Light a candle, open a window, sip your tea. This isn't just about getting things done. It's about creating a kind and peaceful experience, one that brings warmth to your day, not pressure. 14. Declutter by category, not by room. Here's a little secret that many people find helpful, especially when a whole room feels overwhelming. Instead of going room by room, try sorting by category. For example, gather all your books from around the house and go through them together, or all your scarves, or all your coffee mugs. Seeing everything in one group helps you realize how much you really have and makes it easier to choose what to keep. One couple, now in their 70s, told me how they tackled their large book collection this way. "We brought all the books into one room," they said, "and then we sat together and asked, which ones do we truly love? Which ones do we want to read again?" It became a shared moment of connection, and they ended up donating 5 boxes of books to the local library. Decluttering by category gives you perspective, and more than that, it helps you keep only the things that truly matter to you now, not just the things you've collected over time. 15. Set realistic goals and celebrate your progress. Decluttering is not a race, it's a journey. And like any journey, it's made of many small steps. That's why setting realistic, gentle goals is so important. Don't promise yourself to clean the entire garage in one day. Instead, commit to one drawer, one shelf, or one small box. When you finish it, pause and celebrate. Maybe you enjoy a hot cup of tea, a phone call with a friend, or an episode of your favorite show. A woman named Lillian told me she keeps a small notepad near her coffee pot. Every time she finishes a task, she writes it down. Even if it's just cleared the hallway basket, I write it. It reminds me that I'm moving forward. You could even give yourself gold stars or stickers on a chart. It's surprisingly fun and satisfying. The point is to acknowledge your effort. Progress is still progress, no matter how small. And when you honor what you've done, you'll feel more inspired to keep going. 16. Let it be about love, not just letting go. Sometimes decluttering feels like saying goodbye, but what if you saw it as an act of love instead? Every item you release, whether it's a coat, a dish set, or an old holiday decoration, could become a blessing in someone else's life. A warm jacket for a woman at a shelter. A set of mixing bowls for a young couple starting out. One retired teacher named Carol told me, "I stopped saying, 'I'm getting rid of things,' and started saying, "I'm sending things where they're needed." It helped me let go with joy, not guilt. And that shift changes everything. You're not losing memories, you're spreading kindness. Whether it's a thrift store, a neighbor, a family member, or a community center, what you pass along can carry your warmth into new homes. You're not just clearing space, you're creating goodness. And that, my friend, is a beautiful reason to begin. 17. Ask for professional help if you need it. There is no shame in asking for help, especially when the task feels too big to manage on your own. Professional organizers are not just for the wealthy or the busy. Many specialize in working with seniors and understand how to handle sentimental items with care and respect. One woman I spoke with hired an organizer to help her elderly mother clear out decades of belongings. "She didn't just help us sort," she said. "She helped my mom feel heard and respected." The process was gentle and healing. If your budget allows, even a few hours of help can make a big difference. If hiring someone privately isn't possible, check with your local senior services, church, or community center. Many offer free or low-cost support. Sometimes, just having someone beside you makes all the difference. Not to rush you, but to guide you and remind you, you don't have to carry this all alone. 18. Photograph sentimental items. Letting go of sentimental items doesn't mean letting go of the memories. If an object holds meaning, but no longer fits in your life, try taking a photo before you part with it. Create a digital memory album, or even print the pictures and keep them in a scrapbook. That way, you can still see the item, remember the story, and feel the connection, without holding on to the physical object. One woman told me she photographed her late husband's collection of baseball caps before donating them. "I kept one favorite," she said, "and the rest I gave to the church. But when I flip through the photos, I feel close to him. It still brings me joy." This is a beautiful middle ground between holding on and moving forward. You honor the memory without being burdened by the item itself. And with today's technology, it's easier than ever to preserve what matters in ways that take up less space and still hold so much heart. 19. Practice gratitude for what remains. As you move through this journey, take a moment, maybe right now, to look at what you've chosen to keep. These are the things that still serve you, comfort you, or bring you joy. Maybe it's a cozy sweater, a framed photo, a teacup from your mother. Let yourself feel grateful for these treasures. Decluttering isn't about what you lose. It's about what you get back. Peace of mind, breathing room, and a deeper connection to the life you're living now. One woman named Dorothy told me, "After I cleared out my closet, I hung up only the clothes I love. Now, every morning, when I get dressed, I smile." Practicing gratitude helps shift your focus from what's gone to what's truly enough. And the more you focus on what matters, the easier it becomes to let go of the rest. Gratitude isn't the end of the process, it's the reward. A gentle farewell and a new beginning. You've made it to the end of this journey, and I want to take a quiet moment, right here with you, to recognize something important. The fact that you're still here, still listening, still caring about your home, your peace of mind, and your well-being. That speaks volumes about your heart. It says that you haven't given up on creating a life that feels good even in the later chapters. And my friend, that's something to honor. You see, decluttering isn't just about tidying up or making space on a shelf. It's about taking control, gently, wisely, of the space you call your own. It's about deciding what truly matters to you, not out of pressure or guilt, but out of self-respect and love. And that kind of clarity, that kind of self-compassion, it takes courage. Maybe today you only cleared a single drawer or placed one book in a donation box. Maybe you simply sat, listened, and thought, "I'm not ready yet, but maybe someday soon." All of that counts. All of that is progress. You don't need to transform your entire home in one weekend. You don't need to prove anything. You've lived full of memories, full of service, full of love. And now, this is your time to feel light, free, and rooted in the present. You deserve a home that embraces who you are now, not just who you used to be. A home that feels open, peaceful, and filled only with the items that bring you comfort, dignity, and joy. So as you go forward, take your time. Let each step be small but meaningful. Trust yourself. Celebrate the little victories. And when the process feels heavy, pause. Not to quit, but to breathe. Then come back when you're ready. This journey can be as slow and gentle as it needs to be. And most of all, remember this: you are not alone. There are so many of us walking this path with you, learning how to let go of the excess and make room for what really matters: love, peace, and presence. So thank you for sharing this time with me. If this video touched you in any way, if it gave you even a small sense of hope or direction, I invite you to share it with someone else who might need the same encouragement. Subscribe for more calm, grounded advice. Leave a comment below and let me know. What's one thing you feel ready to release and one thing you're choosing to keep? Because this isn't just about letting go. It's about coming home to yourself. You've got this, and we're right here with you.